And welcome back to the TMCJ podcast. We are now on segment 3, our wild card segment, which
segment.
Our best segment. I don't know. I feel like we've barely used this segment for any of our suggested purposes for it.
Yeah, well, that's the idea of it. It's so random. Not even we know what we're talking about.
It's not exactly what I intended when I envisioned it.
Either too high on coffee or drunk on alcohol by this point to understand what I'm saying.
Oh my god. Little column A, little column B.
Yep.
So, I actually feel like one thing we should talk about is what we were just talking about in the interim there. Blue just tried Googling the name of the podcast, TMCJ Podcast, and sure enough, we are the first entire page of results on Google.
For 2.5 pages.
That's pretty impressive. What's a little bit more unfortunate is, maybe for the people who are searching for just TMCJ. TMCJ, the abbreviation refers to the YouTube channel that I have that I'm posting this stuff to, that is The Man Called Justice. However, apparently, TMCJ more commonly is The Man Called Jesus.
Which is weirdly close now you think about it. Like, 3 of the words in a row the same.
I didn't ever think that, I know the what would Jesus do? I know that abbreviation was very popular. I'd never heard The Man Called Jesus. So, if people are trying to search for The Man Called Jesus podcast, if that's even a thing, that is not what this is.
No, this is totally that. We are all about Christian values, and give us your views.
They're going to be sorely disappointed. We did talk about religion once or twice, but
we did.
That is not the primary theme of this podcast, especially not
for
this
our Christ
episode.
homies out there. Yeah.
Considering how we opened this episode, that is definitely not this podcast.
Yeah, probably not. But hey, it means you'll get all those that Christian clickbait. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'll stop talking.
Oh my god.
Can I put Jesus in the thumbnail?
No, don't put Jesus in the thumbnail.
Oh, shit.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Okay. Well, that was not... But it is exciting to know that if you actually search TMCJ Podcast on Google, we not only come up, we dominate the entire search page.
Yeah. It's quite fun.
So that's something. A little bit of a, at least Google listens to us.
Yep.
Yeah. So again, I didn't really have anything to talk about in this. One of the ideas I had, and it's something that came up a couple times, was how actually no, this is what? I thought of the perfect thing to talk about.
Yeah.
So what I had written down was Amazon shopping, and specifically I was thinking of us looking at Amazon, our personal Amazon pages, and seeing because it curates the results that come to you, right? Based on what you've shopped at and ostensibly what you've looked up and searched and talked about, because they are creepily listed.
Before this goes on, I want to put one resounding flaw in the plan that I'm sure it's going to be.
Yeah.
And that is that Amazon is linked to my Audible account, and I've been looking up how, dinosaur romance novels.
Oh, right. That was another podcast.
I'm not sure I want to check that.
So that was my first idea, and I'll admit it's kind of a shitty one. It's funny though, I did take a brief glance at my own Amazon page because of that. And it is a interesting eclectic mix of computer parts, video games, books, and random household appliances. Oh, and MREs for some reason.
Right.
For those who don't know the acronym, Meal Ready to Eat. They're essentially survival food or meals that are passed out to soldiers and stuff. I think they're just selling that shit to everyone because everyone thinks the world's ending. But, yeah. Again, admittedly, bad idea. But it made me think of a conversation that I'd had with Juan and Raymond the other day, a few weeks back. And Juan kind of pointed out that it's something his wife used Facebook for. Facebook curates your ads for you, shopping, if you are looking up a whole bunch of things, or if you're talking about something, it'll curate the ads to whether you like it or not, towards trying to sell something personalized to you. And he was saying that his wife actually used it as like a personal shopping service almost. Like she's like, well, she didn't mind because it's like, oh, Amazon knows exactly what I want to buy. It knows my tastes, and so I don't have to browse around. And up until that point, it was like I didn't even know people like that existed. Like I had just assumed most people like me were annoyed by the ads and creeped out when they were customized for me.
Yeah, I didn't really like it when especially when things show up on like YouTube and stuff, and maybe like I don't know. Yeah, it's a bit weird. By the way, just as a quick side note because it's pertinent to what we were talking about just before.
Yeah.
I go on Amazon.co.uk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know Amazon do podcasts, right?
Do they?
Yeah, apparently. Maybe it's linked to Audible or something. And
we should look to
podcast,
see. Sorry, go on.
The podcast that's suggested for me is called "I Can't Believe It's Not Buddha."
I can't believe it's not Buddha.
I think it's Lee Mack. I think, and someone else by the looks of it. It looks like Lee Mack anyway.
Oh my god.
Yeah, religious podcasts right there. It's the first thing recommended to me.
Well, you were looking up all that spiritual stuff for that one podcast segment.
True.
That's probably why. Speaking of
That's
Amazon,
such a weird book.
Sorry, literally while you were saying that, I just bought something off Amazon because I have it up.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's
Damn,
too
you got
easy.
hoaxed. Just show me GPS tracker for dogs. I've never bought any dog-related gear. Top starter projects. Let's try something bird feed as well.
Oh my
I don't
god.
think this is my stuff.
Wait, are you logged into somebody else's Amazon account?
No. It's my Amazon account. I just don't. I just think they've given up on me and have started suggesting just random shit. There's PS4 games, but I would never buy a game these days because it's all digital.
Oh really? Okay. I only buy physical copies if I can.
Yeah. Yeah, no, none of this is recommended for me, I don't think.
Amazon forgot who you were.
Pretty much. Sorry, I'm just...
No. It's fine. I'm thinking about this now, in terms of like advertisements and buying. Do you find like with the advent of online shopping? I know with video games and Steam, I definitely, I make a lot more purchases than I ever normally would, but a lot of them are discounted. So I'm wondering like if it's a net positive or net negative, the ease and accessibility of being able to just buy whatever happens to strike your fancy.
Well, I think when I often buy, for example, a new game, but I mean, it tends to be when I'm like really bored or I'm just not feeling great. I need distraction. It's like buying. It's basically the equivalent of going out to the pub, right?
Yeah, or buying comfort
bored,
food or something like that.
Yeah, except the next morning I've still got it and I'm not throwing up in the bathroom, kind of thing. So I suppose, I don't know, I always found games quite therapeutic, shall we say?
Yeah,
and kind of worthy purchase.
I'll admit to, I've done the same thing where it's just like, it's like a quiet Sunday and I don't really feel like doing much around the house. I'm just like I want to play something, slow paced, kind of quiet, just something to keep my mind occupied and to pass like a lazy Sunday afternoon or something like that. And I'll do the same thing. I'll like go on Steam or whatever, sometimes Xbox or whatever gaming platform I happen to be using at the time, and see if I can't find something that just seems right for the occasion.
Yeah, I thought it sounded like you were about to start a country song for a second there.
Wait, what?
I don't know, when you started the sentences, it was like, it's a cold, calm Sunday night, and I'm just like, you know what? I feel like playing games.
And here
Okay.
comes the acoustic guitar in the background.
Exactly. Yeah. What's his name? The ginger guy that plays guitar.
Ed Sheeran,
Yes, man. Everyone knows him just by that. It's bad, but yeah.
the ginger guy that plays the guitar.
Yeah. To be fair, name one other guitar playing ginger. Exactly. There aren't any.
That's a good. I can't think. Honestly, I
Oh
can't.
wait, it's your cousin.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Jake is
Whoops.
ginger, and he does play the guitar.
I was thinking Kevin.
Well, they're both. Jake's more ginger than Kevin.
Oh, I didn't know Jake was ginger.
No. Oh, I'm trying to picture
I've
them
seen
both.
like very
I
rarely.
guess
see
I
photos
guess
of
Jake
them,
is more
yeah.
blonde. I'm trying to picture them both. This is what the quarantine's done. It's been forever since I've seen either of them in person.
Yeah. Yi was like, I was in call with Yi and Scott the other day,
Mm.
actually this a few weeks ago, and Yi was like, yeah, I don't think I've ever seen you blue, and Scott was like, it's literally his Discord icon. That's what he looks like. Doi. But I don't actually like that now because I got short hair.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my icon looks pretty much like I do.
I'm kind of torn between should I update the Discord icon because I kind of want to, but at the same time, if I update the Discord icon too many times in close proximity, it seems a bit weird.
Well, then no one knows who you are. You could be anyone.
Exactly.
Like
And
that
they
time
hear
we
my-
all changed our name to Blue Bear.
My lustrous British accent, and they're like, ah, yes, we know this one.
Oh God, that reminds me. I can't remember where or who sent this to me, but this picture. It was just I don't know. It was a post, and the quote is in it is British for Desu.
Oh, right. Yeah. What's this? What?
You know, okay. Never mind. I'll explain it to you after the podcast. It's
Okay.
it's
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Gesundheit.
Thank you.
It's
That's gonna really destroy the mic.
Desu is like a cutesy way to end a sentence in Japanese.
Okay. I see. You're a frickin' weeb. So what were we talking about originally?
We were talking about Amazon shopping
Oh, yeah.
and whether or not it was good or bad purchase. And then we kind of moved on to Steam and making purchases there. But I was thinking like Amazon. Like just now, I just bought a case of like seltzer water
Hmm.
because it was like $10 and I like it.
Wait, what's seltzer water?
Or well, not actually. I think this was just seltzer water is basically like just bubbly water. I think they might add stuff to it. This was Perrier, so just like lime flavored carbonated water, like a mineral water.
I'm not a lime fan.
Oh, I love lime. Like
You
even when I'm
lime.
just drinking normal glasses of water, I'll put like ice, squirt a lime in there, and then fill it up with water, and it's lime water. It tastes delicious.
I don't know. Mind you, I put like strawberry jam into a glass of water and that tastes delicious, so...
Strawberry jam. Wait, into water?
Yeah. Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
It's just strawberry flavoured water.
But why jam?
Because it's just literally just the taste of strawberry, that's it. And it mixes in with water.
I'm at a
It's
loss.
a good... Like, my choices, right, are water, as in tap water, or Coca-Cola, alright? It's a good middle ground. It makes me sound like I'm really poor. It's really nice. I don't know.
I mean, I guess more power to you.
Wow. I know that tone of voice, sir.
I've been doing a lot
Goddamn.
more herbal tea lately, or drinking a lot more of that. Because I've now that I've found this little, it was a gift, and it's just like it's this little teapot with a tea infuser like in it, and just ever since
my God.
I started using this thing, I've been drinking a lot more tea.
They should need to make a brand. Maybe it's already out there. Called T, as in TEA,
Mm-hmm.
and T.
Wait.
It's like TNT, but it's T and T.
Get the fuck off this podcast.
That's amazing. Come on.
What the fuck?
Man.
But what would it even
genius.
be other than a horrible pun?
It could be. I don't know. I'm planning the actual product now. I don't drink tea, but it's a creative way, and I think it would stand out on the shelf because tea is not funny, and tea. I think people would buy that.
Tea is funny when you teabag people in FPS games.
Maybe it's like a really strong tea, 'cause it's like explosive flavor. Tea and tea.
I feel like you could make like an alcoholic tea and do that. Or just
Yeah, I
like,
can't think
or
of
no,
alcoholic tea.
or maybe spicy, like a really spicy tea.
Like you get a lot of alcoholic coffee, but not really tea.
Really? We have it here.
Not that I know of, anyway.
There's
I mean, there's like, I suppose if you say Long Island iced tea.
well,
I
yeah,
suppose.
that's one thing. There's also what they call it. It's called twisted tea, and it's like this cheap. If you look at what it says on the bottle, it's like it's supposedly like an iced tea, like a comes in a beer bottle. It's like an iced tea kind of flavor. I've personally never had it.
Yeah, sounds pretty gross. Tea in a beer bottle.
As far as I don't know. I can't speak to it. But I read the label on it one time, and it's actually labeled as a flavored beer.
Right.
So it's called Twisted Tea, and it's marketed like an alcoholic iced tea, but it's technically classified as a flavored beer by the FDA. So,
Oh my god. Okay, while I was working at my old job, and very occasionally, I'd have to do like the alcohol section, like the beers and that kind of thing.
yeah.
And you know how you get like in the vegetarian, air quotes, vegetarian section of a supermarket, it's all just like vegetarian chicken, vegetarian beef. There's no actual like, vegetables, right?
Yeah.
So the same thing here. There's in the alcohol section, non-alcoholic beer. Like, don't put that in the alcohol section. Put that in the soft drinks, because that ain't beer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, technically, I've warmed to this in recent times. As you know, I've talked about how
I know you say you enjoy the taste of them, but I still don't think they deserve to
be in the
same
alcohol
aisle.
section. But I mean, it is beer. It's just beer with little to no alcohol content. 'Cause I don't know about in the UK, but in the US, to be classified as a non-alcoholic beer, it has to be less than 0.5% alcohol by volume, so less than 0.5% alcohol by volume.
Right.
So, but yeah, no, like I tried the a while back. I like Heineken as a beer.
Mm-hmm.
They did a sampler.
You realise
pack.
you're outing yourself to all your family and friends right now. Go on.
What, did I like Heineken? They know I like Heineken.
Do you like low percentage alcohol beer?
Well, no percentage. Low percentage, no. Like no percentage, yes. Like, if I'm drinking a beer that has alcohol in it, I want it to have alcohol in it. But if I'm drinking a beer that has no alcohol in it, it's because I want it to have no alcohol in it. Like, I don't like the beer that's like just extremely low percentage, like a shandy or something like that. That's a soft drink, and I don't really like those. But Heineken did that promotion where they sold like a 12-pack of beer. There was normal Heineken beer, but it came with 3 free cans of the zero alcohol one. I tried it out. It's not bad. You can definitely taste that there's something missing in it, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not a beer drinker, so I wouldn't really know.
I
I
never.
like cider.
Oh, right. And cider over there is a very different beast than cider over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you guys, cider's typically like a stronger, more bitter drink over there, isn't it? Or at least
I'd say
stronger.
They're pretty damn sweet, I would say.
But still, it's on the stronger end alcohol-wise, right?
Nah.
Really? Okay. Maybe I'm getting the wrong
there
impression
is
then.
there's one of the spoons that I know, they do this thing. I think it's called Georgian the no, it's called Black Dragon, I think,
Hmm.
and it's a mixture of cider and whiskey in a pint.
Oh God.
That's pretty. That's pretty strong.
I,
But generally, cider, no, not very strong.
I've mentioned this before. One of my favorite fall drinks is you take like a pint glass, and you have like a bottle of either alcoholic or non-alcoholic cider, depending on your preference, and then you have like an Oktoberfest beer, like some kind of Oktoberfest beer. It doesn't really matter the brand. Um, and you fill the glass half with the Oktoberfest beer, and then the other half you top off with cider, either again alcoholic cider or non-alcoholic cider.
Isn't that a shandy?
If you use the non-alcoholic stuff, yes,
Okay.
technically. Um, but it's a great. I find it to be a really, really good like right when the weather starts to get crisp in fall. It's a great drink for that.
Mm.
Um, and again, to your taste. If you want something lightly alcoholic, use soft cider. If you want something, along the same lines of alcohol content as a beer, use hard cider. But it's tasty either way.
Hmm. So, what were we talking about?
We were talking about Amazon shopping, and then
Oh,
we've
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah,
at this
okay.
point we've just kind of gone off into the weeds. Like you said at the beginning, this segment has just chaos. Chaos reigns
Mhm.
is what we should call segment 3.
Yeah. What was I thinking? There was something. Oh, speaking of spoons,
Hmm.
you know how in the last one I was
Spoons,
talking.
by the way, I feel like I have to clarify because it's not a chain over here. I know what it is
No,
because you took me there when I was in the UK, but it's
yeah,
it's like a chain restaurant. For people in the US, it's kind of like a kind of a lower end version of Fridays or Applebee's.
it's it's where you get the cheapest booze.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's a cheaper version of it's more in line with like a Denny's or an IHOP, except they serve booze.
Yeah. Um. So they do also do food, and I hadn't realised that the percentage off they are still doing it. The eat out to help out thing.
Hmm.
And so I just was dropping by there because I'd forgotten to eat breakfast before I left for Bristol one day, and I got like a full burger, chips, and a drink for like £4 or something. It was, I think it was less than that. I think it was like £3. So good.
That isn't bad.
And the other thing, which I posted in general chat the other day,
Hmm.
this wasn't actually at Spoons. This was at another chain that I
Yeah.
frequent. Um, the like the fanciest goddamn nachos I've ever seen. Korean barbecue sauce, chicken, sesame seeds sprinkled on top with sour cream and cheese. Oh,
Yeah, honestly, I said
so
it
good.
in chat, but when I saw that picture, it honestly looked like some kind of a deconstructed apple pie
Yeah.
because of the weird ingredients. But it sounds
Mm.
delicious.
Also, because the sour cream looks like a dollop of actual cream, and the
Yeah.
sesame seeds sprinkled on top just look far too fancy to be on nachos. But goddamn, they're delicious.
Oh man, even the chips looked interesting. They weren't like normal like that normal yellow corn tortilla chips that you see with nachos. They were something else.
Weren't they? Were they?
They looked like it in the picture.
Yeah. But yeah, normally over here at least, nachos are expensive as fuck. I know the place where I first worked, it was such a freaking rip scam. It was like £8 for just like a shitty paper box of nachos with uh, cheese and jalapenos. It was so bad. But here, this was like a bowl for two for £5, I think it was. Oh,
That
it
is,
was delicious.
yeah, that's not bad.
Mm. Yeah, I keep finding I'm posting my pictures of food more and more these days. It's pretty bad. I feel
I've
like a Twitter person.
I've fallen into a pretty bad habit of taking pictures every time, I cook something that comes. Oh, speaking of that, last night I did like don't even know what to call this. I was making like my own little burritos because I had a bunch of ground beef left over. It was ground bison, and so I
Ground bison.
yeah, bison's really good. It's like it's
I don't think we get that over here. 'Cause
well,
obviously
yeah,
we
you,
don't-
probably
Yeah.
not. But yeah, we have bison meat. It's more expensive than beef, but it's also it tends to be a little bit leaner and higher in protein.
Yeah.
And
Imagine.
so I had some left over. I'd used to make burgers early in the week, and so I browned it all up. Got some flour tortillas, ground up some cheese, put that in there with some onions and like some green sauce, and just made myself some little mini burritos. They were delicious.
Hmm. That does sound good. Yeah. God, we talk about a lot about food this week.
This has, yeah, and the thing is, normally I talk about food a lot when I'm hungry, but I just had breakfast.
Hmm. Yeah. But no, other than that, I've been playing a lot more Wii games. I can't remember if it's something I mentioned last week, but we've been on WarioWare.
You know what you didn't talk about at all this podcast that you said you were
Yeah.
going to?
Yeah, I know.
All right,
But I was
good.
like, maybe I should, because I feel like every week or every other week, I'm being a bit of an asshole. But I say these things. Okay, so the continuing strife and struggle of getting Alicia to play computer games continues. This week we were playing Super Mario Galaxy. I'm sure it's a fan favorite. A lot of people know it and love it. And God help me, I'm sorry, sweetie, for shouting. Like at the time, that was tough to watch. I can admit. And trying to direct someone in a 3D world is very tough. I mean, God knows, Kaiser's just as bad. And I shout left and he turns right.
I just don't know left from right.
But yes, trying to teach someone how to wall jump and how to stomp on a Goomba or spin attack, and I was having a small mental breakdown. But yes, other than that, Mario Galaxy generally pretty fun. WarioWare, a lot of fun.
WarioWare is
We
an
really
amazing
love
game.
WarioWare.
Yeah, I love WarioWare.
It's such a. You'd think on the face of it that I would hate that game because it's kind of. I don't want to say it's toilet humor. It's just very childlike in appearance.
Yeah, but it's more like it's kind of like a party game, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's the kind of thing where it's best played when everyone in the room is roaringly drunk and can't stop giggling. It's that kind of, it doesn't. No one actually cares. I mean, you can get competitive over it for sure.
But yeah, it's just something silly and goofy to play, to keep the party going.
But no one gets frustrated if you lose, kind of thing.
Yeah, I have I don't have the one for the Wii. I have a Wii U. I'm like one of the 10 people on Earth that actually
posh
bought
twat.
one. But there's a WarioWare version of that, and you know how it has like the tablet. I use it uses that, so the tablet is part of the the Wario. They do a good job using that tablet to be part of the whole party game experience.
But yeah, a lot of fun. Played through that. We also did LEDs, or LEDs as the game says it.
LEDs?
Yeah, you walk around a house and you've got to catch these like little electric blobs which hide in items and run away from you, and slowly you get more power and you can lift larger objects and open new doors. Incredibly difficult, I will say.
Interesting.
It's quite a fun game. But yeah, that's just these are old Wii memories.
So the LEDs or whatever you. How's it spelled? Is it like LED, like the light bulb?
No, so it's spelled ELEEDEES, I think. But yeah, I think the game is like, we've got to make it slightly less obvious, so they pronounce it Elodies.
This is...
Yes, the pun is obvious.
God. Alright. So, we're coming up on the end of this, right? We're near the end of the podcast. This is way too happy and wholesome an ending, so I'm going to talk about something that annoyed the fuck out of me.
God.
To end us.
Go on.
So, that book series that I was talking about in segment 2, I don't know who was in charge of directing the people reading in the second book, but that person is a dumbass and needs to be slapped. Because
for the sake of those who are listening to this on a different day, could you remind us what the title of the book is?
So the book series is called The Formic Wars. The second book in the series is called Earth Afire. The thing that I'm talking about is... So, acronyms, right? There's maybe a wide array of ways you can pronounce things, right? So, but some things are fairly well established. You like a light bulb that is L.E.D. is pronounced LED. People don't say a LED; they say LED. Some things are a little bit more ambiguous. You can say ASAP or ASAP. Those are kind of interchangeable.
Right.
So this is, again, being in a sci-fi book, some of the soldiers have a display on their helmets that gives them vital tactical information. Now,
a heads-up display.
Yeah, exactly. And how would you pronounce that as an acronym?
HUD.
A HUD, exactly. I'm listening to it in audiobook format, and every single time in the first book they pronounce it right. They say HUD when they're talking about it. Heads-up display and HUD. That's it.
Yeah.
You either say the whole
We are
thing or
nerds,
HUD.
though, bear in mind.
But in the second book, my problem is they got it right in the first book. In the second book, every single person, he looked at his HUD, and I'm like,
Oh, they say that. I was trying to work out how they could say HUD right. I was like, are they going like, that he looked at his hood?
No, that would be forgivable. This was just every time HUD. They got it right in the first book, and then they're spelling it out in the second one. No one says HUD. It's a fucking HUD.
Damn.
It got under my skin way more than it should have.
It sounds like it. But I can imagine that does get probably a bit repetitive. When I was reading the Necronomicon, the famous cult book, right?
Yeah.
There's a particular set of words. You see it with a few book series, actually. A particular set of words that you hear slightly too often. And for the Necronomicon, it was to describe something as cyclopean.
Mm-hmm.
So a cyclopean pillar, for example.
Yeah.
Which I feel like it's one of those things where the first time you write it, you're like, oh, that sounds really cool, that sounds mysterious and fancy.
Then you realize they just found one cool word and can't stop using it.
Yeah, they keep using it, and I'm like, okay. I literally don't know what this pillar looks like anymore, because it looks like every other pillar in the fucking universe.
Are you familiar with, oh god, what the hell is that called? Just waffle for a minute. I gotta look this up because I want to get it right.
Yeah, the other one I remember hearing like that kind of thing from is which book? It was I think it was the Ben Elton books, and he had a very particular preference where it came to certain people, and so you'd see the same kind of person in like all of the books, and so until it became just a point where you're just waiting for the character to prop up in the book.
Yeah.
So it was kind of, I don't know, a bit fourth wall breaking for me, a little bit.
I found what I was looking up. Have you heard of the short story The Eye of Argon?
No.
Okay, I know what segment 3 is going to be next week if we don't have a better thing. We are going to read through this beforehand and then discuss. Or maybe we'll just read it live during the...
How long is it?
Maybe like 20 pages.
Okay.
Anyway, I think it's better. There's a game you play with it. So to give perspective, there's don't look this up in the coming week, because I think what we'll do with segment 3, if we don't have a better idea, is to play this game. The game is you have to read through the story, and every time you laugh, you switch, and the other person starts reading.
Okay.
And it's best done if you've never read the story before. For me, it's been years, so hopefully it'll have that kind of an effect.
Yeah. The
Essentially,
problem is, guys, I'm very competitive, so I'm going to try my damnedest not to laugh, and it's
I-
going to sound really boring.
that's fine. That's fine. It won't
Okay.
sound boring. Trust me.
Gotcha.
But to give you a brief summary, not of the story, but of the background behind it and of what the game is. The story was written by some kid and submitted to a sci-fi magazine back in maybe the 70s or 80s or something
Yeah.
like that. Very few copies of it still remain. Somebody managed to find it, an original copy in an original magazine, and made up this game years and years ago, and now it's on the internet. Essentially, it's just, and it's sad because this was written by a guy probably when he was like 16 years old. It was maybe like just him essentially fan fiction.
Yeah.
But it follows like this barbarian who goes quest. It's like a D&D fan fiction
Yeah.
story. The problem was that the guy who wrote it clearly had a thesaurus. And he focused on one word in particular he really liked was Stygian. And he uses that
Yeah.
word relentlessly in the short story. It comes up like every few seconds. But the rules of the game are simple. You read and you trade off with whoever else is reading. It could be done with a group or just two people. You trade off every single time you come across single time a chapter ends, or you screw up because you laugh or just read something ridiculous and go like what, or something like that. Anytime
Yeah.
you have to stop because of some kind of like reaction to the story.
Okay. Is the grammar correct? Because
No.
the grammar could. Oh, it's not. Okay, that's
So,
where I'm going to fall off.
The grammar's, for the most part, it's correct, but every now and again there's spelling mistakes, there's occasional grammar mistakes. It's not like it was written by like a second language. It was written by an English speaker.
Yeah.
So you won't have to worry about that too much. But
Okay.
What
It
we're
sounds
gonna-
like a fun thing.
it is a fun thing, and it's the first idea I've had for the third segment that I think will actually be really entertaining.
Yeah.
But yeah, Stygian. It's a word that comes up constantly when you're talking about Cyclopean. That was what I was thinking of, was this short
Yeah,
story.
Stygian. In fact, I might have even no, it can't be Stygian. I don't know. But yeah, I've definitely heard Stygian before, but I can't think of where.
It's
But yeah, no. Sorry.
classic dark medieval fantasy word.
Yeah, it definitely sounds it. When you mentioned fan fiction, I was like, oh, maybe we should do like a fan fiction part 3 at some point.
Oh my
Just
god,
the most batshit crazy ones we can find.
that would be fun too, actually.
It would.
Oh man. All right. Well, you know what? We're actually over by quite a bit, but we stayed to time for most of this episode, so I
Yeah.
think we can wrap it up there. Any final thoughts before I do an outro?
I think this has been a very. I would describe this podcast as Stygian in this aspect,
Yeah.
and
Not Cyclopean.
Yep, Cyclopean. I honestly I can't think of a single fucking thing that we talked about today.
Well, it'll be more incentive for you to listen back.
Indeedles.
All right. This is the end of the podcast. Thank you, everyone, for listening. If indeed you still are at the end of this,
I'll help you. Today was a weird one.
it was, but I think we covered some interesting topics.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you'll come back next week and listen to segment 3, where we play this game with the Eye of Argon. But until then,
Oh,
Thank
what
you.
about? Oh shit! No, okay, sorry. Go on, finish.
God damn it! Until then, thanks for listening.
Have a good week.